Good morning, one and all present here. I welcome you all for this online class on transmission and distribution. So, which I'll be presenting over the virtual whiteboard. So, we were discussing regarding module 5, that is the DC distribution system, and we had solved a problem related to DC distribution system where you're going to have both uniform loading and also the concentrated loading that is there. All right. So let us move on to the next topic what we were discussing. The topic what we were discussing is the DC distributor. So I had solved this problem. So I had a figure that has been already given there, and you will be finding out the point of minimum potential of voltage. So at which point I'll be getting the point of minimum potential of voltage and what is the value of this voltage. All right. So I have this equal voltage that is 240 volt that is applied on both ends. So it is a DC distributor. It is a DC distributor. Okay. So with equal voltage, with equal voltage. All right. So DC distributor with equal voltage, considering both concentrated loading and so concentrated loading is there and the uniform loading. So both the loadings are present and we are going to analyze that. Okay. So I want to take the point D as the minimum potential point. So just in case you have both the uniform loading and also the concentrated loading, uniform loading is taken from the other end, that is up to point E. So generally I take D as the minimum potential. All right. So why did I take it as D as minimum potential? So the point at which the current is minimum, point at which the current is said to be minimum. All right. So that is why I take the point of minimum potential, the point at which the current is said to be minimum. All right. So that is why I take it and I say it as a D to be the point of minimum potential. All right. So now I got this X value of current that is flowing in section CD. Okay. So this section I have the current which is flowing, that is X. Okay. So the current which would be flowing from the point B. Okay. After the uniform loading of 1 ampere per meter is crossed, and then you will be having the current as 60 minus X in the section DE. Okay. So EB is one more section that is having only the uniform loading, and you have DE, CD and AC. Okay, all those things are said to be the concentrated loading. Okay, so now I got this voltage drop what I need to calculate, considering the fact that the sections are in AC and CD respectively. Okay, so I have currents and the resistances that are given, and I have the length BD also. Okay, so length BD, whatever that is there, so it is containing the both uniformly loaded one, and this one is said to be the concentrated loading. Okay, so that is what we arrived, and we want to find out what is the value of the current X that is flowing in the DC distributor line. So feeding points are at the same potential. I can equate it and I'll be getting the value of X as 50 amperes. Okay. So if I get the value of X as 50 amperes, what do I need to do next? To find total current. Okay. So to find total current. Okay. So this is how I do it, and I calculate the total current which is flowing in the circuit. Okay. Okay. And I can generally take that value. Got it? So this is how I can do a value which is there in current supplied by the NDA by B, and this is VD. This is VD. So I take it as minimum potential point D. Minimum potential, okay, at point D. At point D. Okay. So VD will have a voltage. VD will have a voltage. Okay, so that value of the voltage, so value of the minimum potential that is reached. value of minimum potential that is reached. Okay, so that is 217.5. Okay, so we had arrived to such problems in the previous class, and in today's class what we are going to deal with is the concept related to the distributor means itself. It is a ring distribution. Okay, so hope you have understood the type there. So that is the ring distributor system what we are going to understand, and we are going to solve certain numerical problems as we move ahead. Okay, so up to this point, if you have any doubts, do let me know. If you have any doubts, do let me know right now, or else we can move to the next concept, which is called as ring distributor. Okay, so we call it as a ring distributor. Ring distributor. Okay, any doubts up to the point what we discussed till now? So you have to solve some numerical problems, and you should understand what you are doing, and then you should highlight the concept which is there. Okay, so unless and until if you don't highlight or if you don't work whatever the numerical problems that we had discussed, it would be like a waste of time, certainly. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, that is the ring distributor system. Okay, so if I want to talk about the ring distributor system, so I had a DC distributor, what I'm talking here, that would be relatively with respect to any distributor system. So why it is generally called as a ring distributor is the first question here. Okay, so what is a ring distributor? I'm going to define it. So it is more or less, if you see, it is a ring. Okay, so more or less the geometrical object is a circle. Okay, so whatever the earring that someone wears or anything. Okay, so any geometrical object, so that is circular. Okay, so you call it as ring. And why it is having such a name which is given there to the DC distributor system? So we got the current. Okay, so it forms a closed loop path. So for example, if I have a point A here and I give the connection, or I give the connection to the distributor system, which is a ring one. Okay, so the flow of current, say I have 100 amperes of current. So you have many such points like this, and many such tappings are being taken out from the ring distributor. Okay, so from the ring distributor, so I can call 100 amperes if the application takes 20, and next one is 40, this one is 45, or the next one which is left out is more or less the other current what you are taking. Okay, so I just gave a typical example here why it is called as a ring distributor system. Okay, so it is more or less like a closed loop distributor system. Closed loop distributor system, so which is responsible for the distribution of power. Okay, so closed loop where you have feeding at one or more points. So such a distributor is called as a ring distributor system. Okay, so you have a ring distributor system which is having at a point P. Okay, so it makes a loop and returns to the same point. Okay, so if it is having the same point here, it returns to the original point or the same point. So how are we going to calculate the voltage distribution is the first question. Okay, so you need to consider the distributor having a series of open distributors fed at both ends. Okay, so considering a series of open distributors fed at both ends. So you have an advantage of a ring distributor. So by proper choice and the number of feeding points, great economy in copper can be saved. So what do I mean by that? So one thing that you need to keep in mind is the number of feeding points. Okay, so next you have saving of copper. Okay, so why I generally take from the number of feeding points, I have saving of copper being done. Okay, so that is nothing but the copper conductors used to supply power to the area 1. Okay, I call it as area 1, area 2, and I call it as area 3 and area 4 if it is there. Okay, so in a ring distributor system, what I'm meaning, so you have the reduction in the copper, okay, so or the conductors that you are using. Okay, so one simple case is having only one feeding point. So what I showed you here, one feeding point, and you can take any tappings which are there from only one feeding point, and more or less the calculations what we are going to perform, so it is equivalent to a straight distributor fed at both ends with equal voltage. Okay, so calculation part what we are going to deal with is, so in terms of the calculations what I'm doing here, in case if I want to find out what is the voltage drop, okay, up to C, this is the point A, so let me call it as from A it is being feeding, so I call it as this point to be A, B, C, D and E. Okay, so from point A, so the feeding points what are whatever they are taken, so that is B, C, D and E. Okay, so that is why you will be considering DC distributor, why you'll be considering a DC distributor, so fed at both ends, fed at both ends with equal voltages, with equal voltages. All right, so this is how we are going to approach, or we are going to have a calculations. So it is more or less if you cut at one end. So what I'm going to say here is, so if I cut it, or if I make a circle and if I cut it, and I'll be taking the circumference of the circle, okay, circumference of the circle like this. Okay, so more or less if I stretch it, it would be a straight line. All right, so that is what I meant here for a ring distributor system. Okay, so let us move on to the concept what I'm going to teach you right now regarding the numerical problems. So you don't have to expect everything either in the shape of the ring distributor, or more or less in practice you will be having either a quadrilateral one, or in practice you will be having a pentagon system. So depending on the feeding points, you are just laying the conductors there. Okay, so depending on the feeding points, you are laying the conductors. All right, so that is what I mean in case of the DC distributor system what I'm talking here. Okay, so let us start right now with a simple numerical problem. I'll be going very slow with the first problem, and the next problem you should be in a position to identify, or you should be in a position to solve the next problem. Okay, let us start right now. Yeah, so let me write down this problem. So the first problem, a two-wire DC distributor, a two-wire DC. Okay, I should not say it as DC distributor, I should say it as DC ring distributor. DC ring distributor. Okay, DC ring distributor is 300-meter long, is 300-meter long, and is fed at, and is fed at 240 volt, 240 volt at point A, at point A. Okay, so it's a two-wire DC ring distributor. I underline ring distributor. It is 300-meter long and it is fed at 240 volt at point A. Okay, so now at point B, at point B, at point B, 150 meter from A, 150 meter from a load of 120 ampere is taken. Okay, at point B, from 150 meter from a load of 120 ampere is taken. From a load of 120 ampere is taken. 120 ampere is taken, and at C, 100 meter in the opposite direction. 100 meter in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. A load of 80 ampere is taken. 80 ampere is taken. Now, what is the next thing that you will be remembering? If the resistance per 100 100 meter of a single conductor, 100 meter of a single conductor is 0.03 ohm, 0.03 ohm. Find first one, current in each section of the distributor. Current in each section of the distributor. Second one, voltage at points B and C. Voltage at points B and C. Okay, so this is the problem what we are going to do right now, and you should be in a position to identify how it is. Okay, so look here very carefully what I'm going to do here. It's a DC ring distributor problem. It's quite simple unless and until you don't make any such decisions which are there. Okay, so while solving the problem, if you go wrong, it would be very wrong in such a way where you get the answers which are completely different from what you are there in the given data. Okay, so let me write down the given data right now. Yeah, what is the given data? Identify the given data, everyone. Identify the given data. So what we are going to do here in case of this problem. So let me write down the given data here. So it's a DC ring distributor system. DC ring distributor system which is there, and the length of it is 300 meter. The length of it is 300 meter. Okay, so the voltage which is fed, it is 240 volts. The voltage which is fed is 240 volts at point A. Okay, at point A. So now let me draw a simple circle like this, and I have a connection to it. And what I do, so this is the feeding point A. Okay, so from here you have a feeding point A. Okay, at point B. Okay, observe the next one. At point B, 150 meter from a load of 120 amperes taken. Okay, so 150 meter. So more or less, if the entire circle, okay, if the entire circle here, it is more or less, if I travel, okay, so it is 300 meters if I come to point A. So I'll be moving it. So this is more or less 300 by 4, okay, 300 by 4, something like that. So 175, okay. So and this is 150, and you'll be having somewhere here the other one, okay, the points which are to be taken. Okay, so now what do? I take the entire length of the circle. So if you cut the circle and if you extend it, it is more or less a 300 meter lot. All right, so now the feeding voltage, whatever that is there, is 240, and the point at B, so this is the point B what I take. So it is 150 meter from A. Okay, so the entire length A to B, okay, length of AB, that should be taken as 150 meter. Okay, so it is taken as 120 amperes of current which is taken. Okay, so this is 120 amperes, 150 meter from A. Okay, now again at C in the opposite direction. Okay, so this I take it as one of the direction. Okay, and at C, the point C, what I do, so it should be 100 meter in the opposite direction. Okay, so it is 100 meter in the opposite direction. So it is like somewhere around here. So it is 150 in the opposite direction. If I travel, it is 100. So somewhat around here, I'll be having the point C. Getting it? How am I doing it? So if this length, so what you take here, it is 150 meter. If it is 150 meter and it is taking a current of 120 amperes on the other side, and the remaining current here, it is Yeah, so I don't know what would be the value of the current that is flowing in AB. So I take it as IA, and this current, if it is taking out as 120 amperes, so it is IA minus 120 amperes. Getting it? So this is how we are going to do it. And at point C, you take another load of 80 amperes. So what is the current flowing here in CA? What is the current flowing in CA? IA minus 200 amperes. Okay, getting the point, right? So any doubts up to this point regarding the flow of current and all? Any doubts? Any doubts? If you don't understand any concepts, you can let me know. I'll stop it and I'll start it from the beginning. It's not a problem. Okay, so see to it that you should also work after the class ends. Okay, so that should be the idea behind this online lectures. Okay, so if you have any concept which is related, yeah. Yeah, sorry for the delay. And where we were having the length of AB, BC, and CA. Okay, so given in the problem, based on the numerical problem, we were highlighting the concept there. All right. So now what we are going to do while giving the solution to it. So I want to find out the first one, the current in each section of distributor. Current in each section current in each section of distributor. Current in each section of distributor. So this is what I'm going to find out in the current in each section of the distributor, and I want to find out the next one, which is the voltage. Okay, so voltage at points B and C. Okay, so let me highlight the second part what I discussed later in the numerical problem. Let me go to the current in each section of the DC distributor. Okay, so now what I do here is I know what is the resistance per 100 meter of distributor. 100 meter of distributor. So what do I do in case of the resistance per 100 meter of the distributor? So I need to take the go and the return conductor. So 2 into 0.03. So 0.03 is the resistance of single conductor. So this, if I take it as the go and return conductor. Go and return conductor. So what it is? It is 0.06 ohm. Okay, so now I have three sections. I need to find out the resistance of all the three sections. Resistance of section AB, next BC, next CA. Okay, so resistance of section AB, BC, and CA. So what I'm going to do here is I have the resistance is 0.06 and it is for 100 meter. So what do I need to do? So for 100 meter, let me give you an analogy. For 100 meter, the resistance is 0.06, and what is the length for 150 meters? So this is varying. Okay, this is varying, and what is the thing? Okay, so I have X. What is the value of the resistance? X ohm. So that would be 150 by 100 into 0.06. That is 1.5 into 0.06. That is the value of X. Okay, So that is 0.06 into 1.5. I can directly write it. Okay. So next one, resistance of section BC, resistance of section CA. Okay. So if I can write it, I'll be writing it directly into 0.5 into 1. Okay, so you should be knowing how did I write it. So it is for 150 meter length. This one is for this one, that is the 50 meter length of section BC and 100 meter length of section CA. Okay, getting it right. So this is how I can find out the resistance of each section. Okay, so now let me move on to the next one regarding the currents. Okay, so I found out the resistance in each section. So I want to find out what is the current that is flowing in the section AB of the distributor. Okay, so in each and every section, if I find AB, it would be easy that I find out BC and CA also. Okay, so yeah, so I want. Okay, so let me find out this. So I taking current IA, taking current IA. Okay, so I take current IA which flows in section AB, section AB of the DC distributor of the DC. I'll write it as DC distributor. I'll simply write it as distributor because what I'm talking here, it is also DC distributor. So I can write it as the distributor. Okay. So what is the current in section BC and CA? Current in section current in section BC and CA. So what I'm going to do here, so it is IA minus 120 and IA minus 200. Getting it right? IA minus 120 and IA minus 200 ampere. Okay. So you have the closed loop. So for a ring distributor, I can apply Kirchhoff's current law. Okay, Kirchhoff's voltage law. So you have to take both the resistance into consideration. So the sum of the voltage drops will be equal to 0. Okay, so for a ring distributor, that is a closed loop distributor, it is a closed loop a distributor. So what I'm going to do here in case of a closed loop distributor is I'll be taking the current and also the resistance in that section. Okay. So what I do here, so I take B, current AB into RAB. Okay. Plus, what do I need to do next? Next, IBC and RBC. Next, ICA into RCA. So that would be equal to 0. Getting it? So I have the current in section AB, that is IA, and the resistance of the section, that is 0.09 plus. Okay. Next, IBC. What is the current in IBC? IA minus 120 amperes into RBC. What is it? So it is 0.03 plus 0.06, that is the resistance of it, that is multiplied with current I in section CA, that is IA minus 200 amperes, that would be equal to 0. So what is the value of current IA? Find out what is the value of current IA. Yes, Janavi, what is the answer for IA?
Sir, it is 86.667.
Exactly right. So it is 86.67 amperes. Okay, so just round it off to 2 decimal points and you will be getting it. Okay, so now you can write the actual distribution of current. So how will I write the actual distribution of current? So this goes like this. It is a ring distributor system what I'm writing here. So I have points A, I have point B, and I have point C. Okay, and I have point C. So now what it is, you need to take the current in section AB. Okay, current in section AB. Correct. So what is the current in section AB? So it is nothing but IA. Okay, IA, which will be equal to 86.67 amperes of current. So that is flowing in section AB. Getting it? So now at section B, so you have 120 amperes of current which is taken out. Okay, so now what I do at C also, I take the current which is 80 ampere out. Okay, so as current IA enters 86.7, so it is 120 amperes which is taken out. Okay, so what it is, what is the current in this section? 86.67 minus 120. So what is the answer for it? I want you to do it along with me. 86.67 minus 120. So that is minus 33.33. Okay. So what it indicates, I have to change the direction of the arrow here. Okay. So I have to change the direction of the arrow and it is set to be 33.33 amperes. That is from C to B. From C to B, the current is flowing. Now, the next one, the same current. You can identify, or you can think, or you can think in such a way that so you need to have 33.33 amperes of current flowing through it. Okay. So what is the current here? So that is already taken as IA minus 200. Okay. So what is the value of current? 86.67 minus 200 if it is there. So what it is, what's the value? 86.67 minus 200. So that is 113.33. So again you have to change the direction of current. Again you have to change the direction of current. So that is 113.33 amperes from A to C. Okay, from A to C. All right. So this is a simple representation of each section's current. So that is IAB. That would be equal to 86.67 amperes. Next, ICB. That would be equal to minus IBC. Okay, that would be equal to 33.33 amperes. Next, IAC, that would be equal to minus ICA, that would be equal to 113.33 amperes. So these are the currents which are there, which is flowing in the different sections of the ring distributor. Okay, so we got currents in all the sections, and let us move on to the potentials at point B and C. So what I'm going to do here, so voltage at point B and point C. Okay, this is what I want to find out, the voltage at point B and point C. Okay, so how do I do it? Let me look here. Voltage at point B. Okay, you make an attempt to solve this. Voltage at point C. Voltage at point C. Okay, so this is how I want to do this, and we will be finding out what is the answer for voltage at point B. VB, that would be equal to, okay, so how will I find it? VB, can anyone tell me? That is VA minus IAB into RAB. Okay, IAB into RAB. So what is VA? It is feeding at one voltage point, so that is 240 minus the drop which is there, IAB, that is 86.67 into RAB. What you are going to get it as RAB, that is 0.09. Okay, 0.09. So what is the answer? Kusuma, can you tell me what is the answer for it? What is the answer for it? 86 point.
232.2 volts, sir. VB.
Yeah, VB is 232.
2.2.
232.2 volts. Okay, that is the answer. What you are going to get it as VB. Okay, so next problem, I mean the next part of the problem, so which is voltage at point C. So now if I want to find out voltage at point C, so what would be my approach? What would be my approach? It would be the drops in the sections. Okay, drops in the sections. Okay, so that would be taking VB into consideration plus what is the current, because you have to add it. Why you need to add this? It is because the change in the value of the current direction. Okay, so that is plus IBC into RBC. So I'll be getting it as 232.2 plus 33.33 into 0.03. So that would be 233.2 volts. That is VC. Okay, so we found out the voltage at point B and point C respectively. All right, so that is what I want to do in case of the different points B and C and its voltage. Okay, so we'll be solving one more problem right now, and I want you to solve it. It's for the entire class. I want everyone to involve in such problem, and you need to design this DC distributor. Okay, so now what you are going to do here, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 feeding points here. So earlier you had only 2 feeding points, so you will be having this 4 feeding points right now, and you are going to do this problem what I'm going to write it. Okay, a 2-wire DC ring distributor, DC ring distributor, that is A, B, C, D, E, A. Okay, so it's a ring distributor. What I'm writing it is for a closed loop. Okay, closed loop. That is the reason why am I writing this. Okay, so in the form of a ring main fed at point A, fed at point A at 220 volt, at 220 volt, and is loaded under, and is loaded under. Okay, so 10 ampere at B, 10 ampere at B. Okay, so 10 ampere at B. So next at C, 30 ampere. Next, yeah, so 10 ampere at B, and sorry, it is 20 ampere, sorry, it is 20 ampere, and 30 ampere at D. Okay, 30 ampere at D, and 10 ampere at, what is the left out one, that is E. Okay, so I want to find out what it is, which is the point of minimum potential and current in each distributor. Okay, so what do I need to do? Given resistances of various sections. So if I give resistance of various sections, that would be a go and a return. both. Go and return where AB is said to be 0.1 ohm, BC is said to be 0.05 ohm, CD which is said to be 0.01 ohm, DE which is said to be 0.025 ohm, EA which is said to be 0.075 ohm. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to determine the point of minimum potential, the point of minimum potential, okay, and current in each section of distributor, current in each section of distributor, current in each section of distributor. Okay, so I want you to make an attempt to solve this problem. Solve this problem, everyone. I want Bhavana KS to solve this problem and share it in the class right now. And everyone has to solve this. Okay, how will you formulate the network here? How will you formulate the network? So this is the resistances of each section. Okay, resistances of each section. Yeah, so let me move on to the solution right now. So how will you write the network? How will you write the network? So you have points A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so let me help you in writing the network. So I have point A. Okay, so next is point B. So I have somewhere here as point C. So somewhere here I have point D, and I here have point E. A, B, C, D, and this one is E. Okay, so I have a connection from A to B, B to C, C to D. Okay, this is a simple network. Okay, So this is a simple network where you can write down. Okay, so depending on the points A, B, C, and D, I have written the network here. Okay, so it's a ring main distributor, and I have sections AB. Okay, so I have this section as AB, a BC, CD, a DE, and AE. Okay, I have different sections which are there. All right, so now at point A, I'll be having a voltage which is fed at, what is the voltage? It is 220 volt. Okay, I have a voltage which is fed at point A, which is 220 volt. Okay, so now what do I need to do in case of such things? I need to write the network first, write the feeding point A, and I need to take it at A to B first. Okay, so now at B, 10 ampere is taken out. Okay, so from A to B, I have IA, and it is 10 ampere which is taken out at feeding point, I mean the load point B. And what is the current flowing through here? That is IA minus 10. Okay, so I take it as I or IA minus 10, whichever it is. You were first finding out the current which is flowing from point A to B. Okay, so next at C, again 20 ampere, and at D it is 30 ampere. Okay, at E again it is 10 ampere. Okay, so similarly that would be IA minus 20. If 20 is taken out, I'll be writing it as IA minus 20 plus 10, that is 30. Okay, next this one IA minus 60. Next IA minus 70. Okay, so this is what I can write down here. Getting it? So I have formulated the network here. So I want to find out the current in each sections. Okay, so I want to find out the current in each sections. Okay, so apply KVL to the entire loop ABCDA, to the closed loop, to the closed loop A, B, C, D, E, A. Apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. Apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So what will I get? IAB into RAB. Okay, so IAB into RAB. So you are just multiplying the value of current and also the resistance taken into consideration. Okay, next plus IBC into, yeah, so what is it? RBC plus ICD into RCD plus IDE into RDE plus IEA into REA. So that would be equal to 0. Okay, that would be equal to 0. So you have to find out the current IA in these sections now. Okay, so you have to find out the current which is there. So you have to find out the current IA. What is the value of the current IA? So let me know what is the value of current IA. Bhavana KS, are you there in the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can you find out what is the answer of current IA?
Sir, 29.04.
Yes, exactly right. So the value of current IA, which is 29.04 amperes. Okay, so you have to substitute for current IAB, IBC, ICD, IDE, and all the currents which are there. Okay, along with the resistance. Okay, so you don't have to multiply the distance, and definitely the distance is not given in the problem. So it's a direct substitution and you can get it. Okay, so now you have to identify the current in each distributor. So what is the current in each distributor? And there is one more thing what I would like to add on. After finding out the current in each distributor, so you have to find out the point of minimum potential also. Okay, point of minimum potential also. Okay, so do it right now. So current in each section, you find it out what it is. Okay, find out the current in each sections. Yeah. Nidhishri, can you tell me what is the current in each section? So I'll be giving the current in each section. Okay, it's not a distributor. It's the current in each section. Okay, so which is nothing but IAB. That would be equal to IA only. So that is equal to 29.04 amperes. Okay, so what is the current in section BC? What is the current in section BC? Himanshu, what is the current in section BC?
Sir, 1 second, sir.
What 1 second, man? It's a simple one.
19.04.
What it is?
19.04 ampere.
Exactly. So it is 19.04 amperes. Next, current in section CD, current in section DE, and current in section EA. Find out which one it is.
So current in section CD is minus 0.96 ampere.
Yeah. So if it is minus 0.96 amperes,
The direction is from D to C.
exactly. So it is 0.96 ampere from D to C. So you can simply identify the point of minimum potential. Point of minimum potential is at C. Okay, so simple way in which you can identify IAB. There is the same current IA which is there, IBC, ICD, and IDE you find out, and IEA you find out. Share the answer right now. What is IDE?
Minus 30.96
Correct.
ampere.
Correct. What is IEA?
minus 40.97.
So this would be 30.96 from, again, E to D, and again it is from A to E. Getting it right? So that is 40.96 ampere from A to E. Okay, so this is how you find out the ring distributor numerical problems. So it is quite simple. If you get it, you will be getting it either with the help of the diagram or with the help of the statement what you can highlight. Okay, so it's a quite simple numerical problems that you can express it, and you can do it quite easily and in such a way that you will be finding out easier way to solve this problem if you know the concepts well. Okay, so any doubts up to this point? Any doubts up to this point, anyone? Okay, any doubts you can share it with me. Okay, assuming that there are no more doubts, let us move on to the next one, that is a bit of introduction for AC distribution and how we are going to calculate it. So I'll be taking a few more minutes of your time, and I'll be writing down the AC distribution calculation. Okay, so you know that AC distribution, so you have the electrical energy, whatever that is generated. So the transformer will not work on the DC supply, and you need to transmit from the generating end to the transmission end, and after the transmission end, you will be having the distribution section being reached. So our main idea is to distribute the AC power which is available at the distribution station. Okay, so if I have the AC power which is available, I have a DC supply, so I need to convert the AC to DC. Okay, so that is one concept which is generally called as rectifiers. You can take the help of rectifiers, and you can have any such booster circuits where after the conversion you will be increasing the value of voltage, and it needs to be maintained constant. All right. So now most of the equipments these days are AC in nature, and all the AC equipments what we use it. Okay, so it requires AC distribution from the distribution station. Okay, so you have the present day power system, so it is quite easily adopting to the AC changes or the AC systems that are there. All right, so now you will be having AC voltage generally that is a single phase AC voltage and a three phase AC voltage, right? So now what we are going to do is, so you have primary AC distribution, primary AC distribution, and the next concept is secondary AC distribution, secondary AC distribution. All right, so we will be highlighting all these concepts that are there. So that is the primary AC and the secondary AC distribution what I'm talking here. So once I have this primary AC distribution, so I'll be having the voltage which would be in the range of 6.6 kilovolt, that is the highest one, or 3.3 kilovolt, that is there. So it is directly feeding to the bulk consumers. So can you give me an example of the bulk consumer? What type of load it is? I mean, you will be having the industrial consumer or the industrial loads what I connect. So that is making use of the 6.6 or the 3.3 kilovolt that is there. All right. So now the next concept what I'm going to deal with is the secondary AC distribution. So in case of secondary AC, it needs to be stepped down to somewhat around 440. Okay, so 440 volts or 400 volts. That is for a three-phase system. This is for a three-phase system, and for a single phase, it is 230 volt. That whatever that we use in our appliance, home appliance or the domestical appliance, what we consider. Okay, so we have domestical applications. And this one it is for the small scale industries or the small machineries, so that is in the range of 10 to 20 kilowatt that we consider. So that makes use of the three phase supply. Okay, so to drive the motor or to drive the power requirement, so we will be making use of the 400 volt and 440 volt there. Okay, so this is the AC distribution, so where you will be having the three-phase network, that is a three-phase system that will be used. All right, so now you will be having the three-phase and you will be having the four-wire system, a three-phase and four-wire system. So why do we need to prefer a three-phase four-wire system for distribution purpose? Any idea? What is three-phase four-wire system? Anyone in the meeting can let me know why, what is a three-phase four-wire system? What is a three-phase four-wire system?
Sir, it is provided with neutral wire also.
Yes, correct. You are absolutely correct.